Hello everybody and welcome to my first YouTube video ever. So today I'm going to show you how to create a basic to-do list app using StemJS as a framework. And for some of you who are more experienced with front-end libraries, you may wonder StemJS, never heard of it. So let me get into a little background first. So this took life about 2 years ago and we are using it mainly to develop csacademy.com, which is an educational platform which provides competitive programming contests, interactive lessons on different algorithms and data structures, and also interview-like problems so you can prepare for your next interview. But anyways, we considered it's about time we released MJS in a way it would make it easy to use. So we also included the establishment framework inside every STEM app. And that means we give you our front-end and back-end code for a blog, forum, chat, and even login and register system. And I'll just show you that later. So let's get started. Well, first of all, let me make sure I'm recording this. Yes, I am. Okay, so let's get started. So this is how our app is going to look in the end. It really doesn't have much functionality. You can just toggle and untoggle a to-do. You can see you can't really add a new to-do or remove it from the front end. You gotta do that from the code. But anyways, this is just a demo project. It's never intended to be in production, so doesn't make sense to go into hard stuff right now. So in order to make things easier, I just created in this to-do app a to-do list which shows the steps you need to follow in order to get a StemJS to-do list running. Yes, so the very first step, install npm. Now, I won't go into much detail. npm is the node package manager, which is, as a fun fact, it is the largest package manager in the world, and if you want to go and work with JavaScript, you might want considering using this because it has about everything you'd need. So in order to install it, uh, if you're on a Mac, you can just use brew install Node.js, which will install Node.js and also npm as a dependency of it. And if you're on a Linux distribution, and more specifically, I think if you're on any Debian-based distribution, you can just use sudo apt-get install Node.js. Now, if you're not using any of those, I'm really not sure how you can get this installed, but you should just Google for it. It should be really easy. So let's move to the next step. I already have it installed, so let's move to the next step. And before we get to the next step, I should just say, maybe I should have said this in the beginning of the video. So in order to get this, to understand this, you need to have at least basic understanding of HTML and JS, and to also be sorry, to also be used to object-oriented programming, because this is what we're going to use, JSX and ECMAScript 6. So let's move to the next step. Install StemApp from npm. So in order to do this, simply just type npm. After you install npm, of course, just type npm install StemApp -g, and this will globally install StemApp, so you can use it inside every folder. So you can create the StemApp inside every folder, because I don't know, let's say you have a folder like code, apps, stem, and you want to create a StemApp right here. So you can just cd into that and just run. Let me just check this, and now create a new app. Just run StemApp or stem /create, and the name of the app is going to be demo to-do list. So enter your app name blank for demo to-do list. Should be fine. Enter your name, Vlad, and the app description. Just a simple StemJS to-do list app. Should be fine. No license now. So it asks me for the password, my operating system password, so I'm just going to put it. And it actually does this because it wants to make sure I have all the dependencies installed. So if I just put it, it already started to install all the dependencies, cloning the establishment, the one I told before about the forum, blog, chat, and everything like this. Okay, so right now it asks me if I want to publish the project on GitHub. Yes. Enter your GitHub username, Saint Andy, GitHub repository name, demo to-do list, demo to-do list, YouTube. Enter host password for Saint Andy. So now GitHub asks me for the password on my username, and I'll just put it. Successfully created, push the initial commit, and yes. So StemApp is going to take care of all those stuff for you. You can definitely refuse to publish the project on GitHub, maybe edit later, maybe it's a private project, doesn't really matter. But for this tutorial, it's okay. Okay, so this might took about a minute, and let's just wait for it to make sure we have everything installed. Okay, so I also record my voice. Alright, so would you like to import a database? You can see the default is no, and I wouldn't like to import a database. Okay, so just doing the first migrations, basically for the establishment. So the establishment is coded using StemJS and Django. So it gotta make sure we have Django installed, and also running these migrations is to make the Django establishment working. So would you like to create a website account with super user rights? No. I'll just do this manually later so I can show you how. Okay, so now it just bundles our whole project, and what does that mean? It roughly means it just puts all our JS and JSX files inside a single JS file, which contains a couple of thousands of lines of code, so we can have everything there. So it's just like compiling our whole project and putting the output inside that file. I really won't go into much detail right now. So apply all migrations, okay, so we got our server running, our development server running at localhost 8000, so let's just go there, localhost 8000. And here we are, our first STEM app with this front page. So you can actually see it welcomes me, my name, my project title, and also my project description. And below you have just some quick tips on how to get started. You can just ignore this for now if you're following the tutorial, but you also have a link for the documentation, which you might find really helpful to use. So let's get this running. So cd YouTube tutorials, demo to-do list. And I have all those files here, and I'll just open an editor. I'm using for this tutorial Vim as the main editor, even though in real development daily I use PyCharm. So just open the demo to-do list app JS and go to index page. And this is actually everything displayed on the front page, the one we just saw here. But well, maybe except the navbar, this is in a different place. And for now, we can't really use everything from there. So let's just delete everything, and let me just code this real quick. Okay, so we have to import UI from UI. I'll just explain later. And now export class index page extends UI element. And inside our render method, we want to return a hello world, my first STEM app. Alright, so we can see the bundle toggled, and it's just looking to rebundle everything. It's done, so let's go and check again. Refresh, and there we are. Hello world, my first STEM app. So what I'm doing here, if you're going to work with STEM, you'll have in most of your files, well, actually think in all of your files, you'll have to import UI from UI. This basically contains classes as UI element, which will just do all the job for you. And we just export our class index page, which is actually going to be rendered inside the app.jsx. Oh, well, not really. No, it's going to be rendered on routes.js index page, you can see here. So, oops, sorry. Let me just get back real quick. Okay. So, we just export the class index page so it can be imported in other files. And this index page, as you can see, extends UI element, the class UI element, and we just overwrite the render method, so we make it to return hello world, my first STEM app, which is actually the message we get here. So what does this mean? Index page extends UI element. Well, in JSX you can see we can do something like this. So we have a div, inside we have a span, hello, also another span, world. And if we just compile this and wait for it to bundle, should be quick, okay. And refresh this, we just see our elements here. And if we just use the inspect function in the Chrome browser, we can see our spans got rendered here. So this is actually the index page class. So if I'm going to give this an ID, for example, index page, I should just see this inside this code. So I think it's already done. Okay, yes, it's done, and this output was returned by Django. Okay, so if we refresh, we should just see this. So div ID index page, which is what we return. So this is actually what we have in render, and this index page is this div element. So if we are going to not extend UI element, but UI primitive of let's say span, this is just going to turn into a spam, so into a span. So UI element is basically equivalent to UI.primitive of div. We just creates a DOM node of this type specified inside the UI primitive constructor. So let's just see. Yeah, we got this. So this is a span right now. Okay, so we'd actually want it to be a div, so it's more syntactic sugar to just do UI element like this. And inside this index page, we'd want to return the to-do list class. So let's just do this for now and define the to-do list class, which extends UI element for now. So we have this, and yeah, this should be enough. So rebundle, and if we refresh, all right, we don't see anything because we didn't actually render anything inside this to-do list. If we do render return, I'm inside the to-do list. We should see it, so just refresh. And yeah, I'm inside the to-do list. Cool. So inside this to-do list, we may want to render more to-do items, right? So this is why I'm using an array. So render to-do, we have to create this class. But first of all, let's provide to this some attributes. So and each to-do will have a message and a is checked value or not. So let's say for this message test to do and is checked or just simply checked equals to false. And let's just create a to do class. So class to do extends UI element render, and now return div, and inside this div let's just put this dot options dot message and like this, and also this dot options dot checked like this. So those are actually the values we provided here. Those are the options. So let's see, it's bundled, so refresh, and we just got test to do and false, which is actually what we wanted. So let's just add a dash here, like, okay, so if you're actually inside a GSX code, I'll just tell this like this. If you want to use any JavaScript values, you have to include them inside those brackets. So let's just save this and go to the bundle, created, and refresh. Test to do, which is false. Cool. So let's for now just render a couple of more to dos. So this is a test to do, test to do 1, test to do 2, 3, and 4. And I think I forgot to check stuff from here. Yeah. Oh, actually, on the 4th, I'll just let that at the end. It's just how to manually open this later, or get this running later. So I just rendered to do a couple of more to-dos, and I should be able to see them right here. And okay, they're not here. So okay, so it didn't actually bundle. Maybe I forgot to save or something. So right now they should be here. Let me just okay. So I have test to do 1, which is false, test to do 2, false. All of those are false. Okay, so it's actually, if you know HTML, those shouldn't be divs, right? So this container should be a UL, and those should be list items. So let's just do it like this. So UI primitive of UL, and this should be a UI primitive of, okay, so toggled. Let's just get back here and make sure this got rendered properly. So if we inspect this, this is still a div. This toggled again. Okay, so it's actually that my computer is real slow right now because this recording stuff is really takes a lot of resources. You can see here my processor is at 78 Celsius. So this is why this goes real slow. So now they're actually what we want. You can see by this dot right here, it's a list item. So right now what we want to achieve is the functionality. So make the functionality. So the functionality would be whenever you click on a to-do, it should toggle and untoggle, right? And in order to do this, inside the to-do class on onMount function, we can add a click listener, and we can provide to it a lambda function. So this is in ECMAScript 6 somehow the equivalent of function, which we used in a previous version of JavaScript. So we just have this, and whenever we click on this, let's just make alert of you clicked me this dot options dot message. Okay, just bundle. So if we click on this, you clicked me. You clicked me. Okay, so it doesn't actually show this. Okay, so let's just make it like this. Oh, sorry. So refresh again, and we have you click me test to do 3. You click me test to do 1. So it works. And what we'd like to do here is to run another function, which would be let's say toggle to do. So in order to run it, we'll have to this dot toggle to do. And inside this, we just want to change the value checked from the options. So we do something like this dot options dot checked equals to not this dot options, sorry, checked. And also we want to do a redraw. So we make sure this to do looks this to do renders the new value of checked. So I think this is, yes, this is already finished. So if we just go here and refresh, cool, it works. It actually works. So this is quite the functionality we expected. So I'm not really sure how much clearer is this, and I'll just recap. So inside the index page, which is what we are going to see on the first page, is actually inside the routes.js. Sorry, inside the routes.js. So inside this, we're going to render the to-do list. Inside the to-do list, we're going to render multiple to-dos, and inside each to-do have its own functionality, its own message, its own options of message and checked. So now we got this code running, like it works, but it's really ugly. So let's try to refactor something from this. So first of all, we may find it best to not to render to-dos like this, but let's say let to-dos let's create a new array to-dos, which is initially the empty array, and let's just create a const to do to-do items, which is going to also be an array of dictionaries. So let's just put those to-dos in here, and we are going to have message, let's say just test1 and checked false, and this should be test2, 3, 4, and let's say this is true. And now inside these to-dos we can just iterate through to-do items. So let index equal 0, index lower than to-do items dot length, index incrementing by 1. So we'll have to-dos push of, and here we'll just want to put the JSX code for a single to-do, which is going to look like this. So to-do message equals to, we're going to have to-do items dot length, of index dot message, and here we're going to have to-do items of index dot checked, and here of course uppercase. Okay, so we have this, and now all we have to do is just return to-dos. So I think this looks actually better. Well, maybe not really, but it's clearly more maintainable. We can even have this globally, or if we were going to do this perfect from the very beginning, we would have this, we would have actually taken this from the database, and in the front end this would come from a store, but I'll just show that in a later tutorial. So for now, bundle just got ready. So if you just go here, we can see test1 false, false, true, and false. Okay, so this works. So next thing we're going to do is not render like this, or actually let's just let the render like this for now. Instead of doing this, like changing the options like this and just a draw, we can use this update options of checked, not this dot options dot checked, and this should work. So if we update options, it wouldn't overwrite all the other options, like I don't know, let's say if we were to do this dot set options of something right here, and we would only put our checked here, the message from the options would be gone, and update options will actually just update the checked with not this dot options that checked. So from true it would get false, and from false it would get true. Okay, so this is done. Let's refresh, and we should obtain the very same we had, but the code is better. I think it's definitely better. So let's just get rid of this. This is good. So let's see what else we can do inside here. So let's say let message, or actually const message equals to this dot options dot message, and const checked equals this dot options dot checked. And instead of returning it like this, we can just return message and checked, simply like this. And in order to make sure it's rebundled, let's just put a different character here. Let's just put an X. Okay. So so it's rebundled and everything works the same. Even better, what we can do is const message and checked of options, of this dot options. And what this is going to do is just going to do like message equals to this dot options dot message, and checked equals this dot options dot checked. So more syntactic sugar for now, and I actually think this is a better version, because if you would have like, I don't know, multiple items here, would be really the code wouldn't look really well if we would just have 6 const values or 6 different lines. Okay, so I think this is done with the functionality part. So let's just check this and let's get into styling. And if you don't know CSS, you might find this pretty hard. But if you have a basic idea of how CSS should be, you can see how easy it is to just style nodes, DOM nodes inside the stem. So in order to start styling this, let's just import among UI, let's import style sheet and also style rule. And we are going to create a class called to-do style, which will extend style sheet. All right. And now let's just say, well, let's actually say to-do equals to, and we're just going to provide it a dictionary of style items we want. So it's going to be like, I don't know, let's say background color red for now. Okay, and in order to get this running, we need to import register style, and we need to use this as a decorator here, register style of to-do style. And this will basically just tell our class that, okay, you have all the styles I provide in to-do list, which is for now just this to-do dictionary. You can access through this dot style sheet dot to do, for example. So we said this is a style we want to add inside this to do. Now if you remember, this to do is not this div, is this list item. So it's going to be this, and we're going to use the function extra node attributes of attributes, and just do attr set style of this dot style sheet dot to do. So let's see if this compiles. Should be fine. And if we refresh, cool, we have everything working. Yes. So we have the background color red, but if we take a look, this is actually in here, background color red. So okay, we can edit this like blue. It got it, but okay. Okay, I actually edited that, and I think this is what happens. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so this is just here, and we'd maybe want it not in element style, but we'd want to create a class, right? Like a real CSS class. And this is actually real simple. All you have to do is decorate this to do with style rule, and instead of set style, just add class. So add class of this style sheet to do, and this will be a class, like a proper class wrapped inside a style tag in the HTML, and it will be just like this to do, and background color red. So if we, okay, So if we just refresh, we should see the exactly same. And if we inspect, you can see right now this season, this doesn't have inline style. This has class to-do 18. And if we are going to take a look on this, you can see it is here, style, name, to-do list, and it contains our to-do 18. So we can actually edit this from here, like green, and everything will change. So okay, so let's get going. Oh, definitely we don't want this red, and let's just make, since it's a list, we just want to make list style decimal, I think, so we can have numbers for our list. Okay, so the bundle isn't yet finished. Okay, it is. So right now we have numbers. Test 1, test 2, test 3. And definitely we don't want true or false. We'd want maybe like here. So let's just get rid of that. So we shouldn't render the checked anymore, but well, we should render the message, but not the checked anymore. So let's just do a let div class equals to this dot this dot style sheet dot unchecked to do, and if this dot up, if no, if checked, if our to do is checked, let's just change div class to this dot style sheet dot checked to do. So we'll just have to use right now class equals to div class, and let's just define those unchecked and checked to do. So again, those are going to be classes, so style rule unchecked and style rule of checked to do, no highlight. And let's just do this. I don't remember exactly, but I can use it here. It's text decoration. Okay, we want line through, so this should have text decoration line through. Note that all those are camel case, so if our style class extends a style sheet, the base style sheet will just take care of everything to make it like text dash decoration, so we don't actually have to think about those. So those are also classes, and let's just see. So we refresh and it's still the old one, waiting for changes. Let's just refresh again. Okay, we got this, but it doesn't really work. Let's see why. So I have checked to do, unchecked to do. Okay, text decoration line through. So if I actually go inside this and I just click on it, nothing happens. Okay, interesting. So if I just do this style sheet that checked to do, will it work? it doesn't work. Text declaration line true. Well, let's just see. Oh, yeah, class name, not class. So in JSX, it's actually class name. Sorry for this. It took me a bit to figure it out. So we're going to have again the div class. Let's just put div class name here. So div class name, and let's just wait for the bundle to finish. Again, this is usually taking not this long, maybe half of the time, but again, my processor is really working. I don't have actually a GPU, so I do all the recording from the processor. Okay, so it works. It's what we wanted. So we got our to-do list, and now because I want to show you how easy it is to do stuff with STEM, let's just add, for example, a bit more styling here. So maybe on hover we want to do something like, I don't know, change the background color, right? So inside this to do, we can define this key as hover and just make it background color. Let's just make it a very light gray. So if we take a look, it works. It's just what we wanted. So now this goes, um, okay, no, I think it's good enough with the styling. I just don't want to go into more detail right now. So some styling, why not? This is also checked. So uh, if we take a look, we got this app running. If we refresh, definitely it won't stay the same because we don't involve the database anywhere. This is just going to be in the next tutorial. So we got this running, and now I said about the establishment that we also give you the front end and back end code of a forum, chat, uh, login, register system, whatever. So it's actually everything right here inside this establishment folder. So we have the blog, the chat, also the documentation code, which is on StemJS.org. Emailing errors, forum. Yeah, you have quite some things right here. So let me just show you how easy it is. So login, sign up, but we don't currently have an account, so let me just create one. So YouTube tutorial demo. So we're going to use Python free manage.py. This is everything here is Django, is not STEM related. Create super user of no, this is it. So email just me at justme.com. Password 123 123. Doesn't really matter. So we have our super user, and right now we should be able to, sorry, just me at justme.com. This was it, yeah, and password 123. Should be able to log in. And it actually works. And now if we go through the blog and just create a new entry like just a test entry, you can also change the URL name like hello there. Let's make it visible for everyone, not for admins only. And let's say the message is This is the text. It is really not interesting, but it's quite long, like this. So add entry. Okay, I'm not sure what happened. Oh, I'm actually no longer logged in. Sorry. Okay, so I got kicked out. I'm not sure why. Also, I must say, this is not fully complete yet, but it's going to be in the future. So let's just do something real quick. So and add entry, and it works. So if we go on, let me just delete this. So if we go on the blog, you can see we already have the article. Like we have this on the landing page. We already on the blog got the article we want. Let's just add another one, add entry. Okay, I got kicked out again. I'm not sure what happened. And I didn't put that visible. So I can't see it if I'm not a super user. But I can continue reading, edit this and make it visible, change settings, log out and reload, yeah. Okay, so this now is visible for any users. Okay, so you can see this doesn't actually look extraordinary good. I mean, it actually has all the functionality you need for a blog, but you somehow still need to style it. It has basic styling inside it. It's actually okay, but we can make it better, definitely. So let me just show you, because this might be like, okay, you have this, but you need to style it and it's going to take a long time. Not really. So let me just show you some other STEM-based websites. So infra.org, which is a project we postponed, but we're going to work on it in the near future. So we have this landing page, we have this form. This is also an establishment and looks exactly like this. Well, actually, I believe the email and name fields are on the same row, but doesn't matter. So if we just press go to the blog, you can see we have this blog right here. And instead of this end of blog button, we have back to the main page. It looks pretty nice. And you can see it's actually the same template, we just modified the styles. So this continue reading is this button, exactly this button, but it's just longer. Its width is 100% and has some hover effects. Also, we put a photo, and yeah, so you can actually achieve this with I don't know, but I can say about 50 lines of code. If you know how to style it, you can just go for it, and you have a fully functional blog with just 50 lines of CSS, uh, CSS stem, like this stuff. So I think this is it. Uh, I can show a couple of more websites like betamundipedia.org. This also uses stem, and you can see here the world map in different years, so you can just increase this. I don't know, change the year. This is the currently world map. The about section, which is contains this page, and also yes, so this form was like um, everything on name and email on the same line, the message. You can expand it, I don't know, you can do stuff with it. And it's actually functional, so if you just include this inside your app, it would work. You just have actually to go to settings.py and local settings and change the stuff, some stuff. Probably you want on settings.py if you're going to publish your website. Okay, this is, let me just turn this off. Let's turn off, disable forever. Got it. Okay, so it's a bug from that Chrome plugin. Okay, so you have here the fields, you have the submit button, everything works good. So the documentation website, StemJS.org, I'm just going to go into some more detail, and I'll just end it later. So documentation. Here you have everything you want. So for Stem app utility, the command on npm we just installed on step 2, and establishment. So if we go to Stem documentation, you can see intro and examples, state management, stores events, what you actually want. I must say it's not yet complete. We still got to work on this documentation, but it's going to be ready soon. And also styling, what we said. Using Ajax, you really got everything you need. So in order to prove my point once again and just show how easy this is to use, let me just do something real quick. So we actually have in Stem a class font awesome FA icon. So we can, for example, render this like here, FA icon value equals um mm, so if we go to font awesome, okay, just click on it. This works really slow because of the recording. Okay, I don't want to. And where is the icons? Here is the icons. So if we go on the icons, come on. Okay, it's already here. So I don't know. We have those icons. We want, for example, oh, let me just look for a check sign. I don't know where it is. Okay, check circle O. So value would be check circle O. And let's just do this if, let's just do this if we got it checked. So if checked, so this else null. Let's just wait for the bundle to finish. Let's get back to this. Okay, let me just check the console. I think we got some errors. Okay, we don't really have. Oh, I didn't refresh, I think. Okay, doesn't render at all. Let's just select this. Okay, so this works, but okay, so the FA icon value, maybe its name, I don't really remember. Oh, else now. Okay, so if we just go into font awesome, it's not the font awesome .jsx. Oh, it's icon, sorry. Okay, so it's icon. So let's open this once again, and it is icon. So that's it. We got this icon. We can actually do, like, I don't know, just put an X mark and a check mark. I don't know, you can really extend this however you want. So actually Stem provides a lot of functionality. You can explore on your own. And I think this is it, what I tried to cover with this video. I really hope I managed to cover at least the very basics of it. And this is my first video, as I said, so any feedback from you would be really welcomed. And I'm also planning to do more videos in the future, so leave a feedback also. So leave a feedback about the framework, what do you think, opinions, what can be better. Also, you can check the forum and the blog on stem.js. Also, if you want, you can just play with it like this. You don't really have to install it in order to use it, but you definitely have if you want to create an app out of it. Okay, so as I said, please leave me feedback in comments, and any feedback really would be really appreciated on both uh, this video and the framework. What do you think? So that's it now. Thank you, and I'll see you later.